How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Louisiana, the legendary tier American hybrid battleship. Louisiana, not really a fan of it. I think it's basically demented that you have consumable airstrikes that are PC midway stats in terms of HP, torpedo damage, and the fact that there's six torpedoes for 3 planes. Not even our midway has those airstrikes, and yet Louisiana has them. And the thing is, even if you're not using the specified hybrid commander that buffs your consumable planes, your planes basically never get shot down if you're dropping at least 2 ships. If you drop something through, I guess, Minotaur, Worcester, AA, then maybe you lose 1 plane before they drop, but more often than not, all of your torps will be able to get off before a single plane is shot down. I mean, the fact that you can also drop these airstrikes on carriers and not lose a single plane is, I mean, that's kind of speaks for itself, considering CVs are supposedly the class with the best anti-air. And, well, when you pair it with something like Arthas, the damage you can do when you pop your fighter, especially now that it's buffed, then you can realistically use your fighter a lot more, because then you can use your main battery as well. It's sort of pretty demented, if I'm really being honest. But Louisiana, I mean, has, I think, on par accuracy with Montana. Something that this thing also has is an improved spotter plane compared to normal battleships. I think you get 15% or maybe 20% accuracy. I think it's actually 20. I think Lauria is the one with 15. So you get 20% grouping with your spotter plane if you so decided to use the spotter. But in this case, because we have Arthas, we're kind of forced to use the fighter so we can get additional damage. Aim a little too high on the Carl. Unfortunately, I was assuming he was probably going to turn out to possibly hide from our team all lending to A by ducking behind B, but he kind of just drove in a straight line and, well, dodged most of our shells because, well, again, we aimed pretty high. Friendly gearing, lands a torp on the enemy gearing, none of our team decides to shoot him. Unfortunately, he goes unspotted just before we reload, but we take a pot shot anyway, hoping that we can finish him off. But I guess gearing didn't end up turning, and he probably just canceled and stopped stationary. So unfortunately, gearing does end up surviving. We get our plane back. One of the more demented things as well, because, I mean, they are planes. You can just drop them pretty much from wherever. I think they have around 15 kilometers of range around your ship that you can drop. So most of the time, there's going to be a lot of targets that you can damage that you otherwise would not be able to, as we do 36,000 damage to Carl. If we had a plane, we probably dev strike Carl because we get another 20% damage. So yeah, I mean, 6 torpedoes that do more damage than our current midway, especially after getting nerfed again after the rework. I mean, I guess it's kind of where the Hakuryu was with doing like 40k torpedo salvos with 4 torps, although for Louisiana obviously it's 6. Enemy defense comes out flat broadside. There's kind of been a lot of defenses lately that are a lot of pretty questionable. A lot of broadsides, a lot of citadels, dev strikes. Mainly, I'm assuming it's a lot of players that don't really know what they're doing, and they basically bought a legendary tier through a campaign, sort of like the Minotaur when it first came out. Boy, were there so many Minotaurs that ended up getting dev struck. Friendly Brisbane charging in. He does have a radar and he does catch the gearing, although I'm not really sure why he's full committing to charging out, considering there's an Alaska right there. But also, the Brisbane took a billion years to shoot at the gearing, so I'm not really sure what his plan is currently. And, I mean, a Brisbane charging at an Alaska, yeah, that's really not going to end well. Alaska turning semi-broadside to get all of his guns on target, and I think we can assume what's going to happen to the Brisbane as he just gets absolutely nuked. And, yeah, kind of unfortunate. Brisbane goes for YOLO, which is pretty unnecessary. Although he does get Alaska to turn in, and considering where the Brisbane died, I don't think there's anywhere for that Alaska to go, and we can just drop a airstrike over the island because, well, consumable airstrike. We don't even need to control the planes, and we just basically get free damage whenever we really want. We use our Arthas plane just to ensure we finish him off because our friendlies are just, for some reason, deciding to charge in, except the battleships that are lemming behind me, which it is a fail div. So it is kind of concerning. I don't really have a whole lot of faith in this team. Enemy team has both caps were down by kind of a lot of points, and the enemy team is pretty much all full HP Navrin, full HP Ohio, and I'm sure the other two ships in our spawn are also full HP, as our whole team, aside from a couple ships, decided to lemming to A and kind of run away from the other flank. We also get an absolutely nasty smack on that Ohio because we do have 4 kills, and we also have Arthas plane, so you could see just how nasty having Arthas on New Jersey is. I mean, we're getting what, an additional 20% damage from our legendary plotting room. Ships beyond 10 kilometers, we also deal 5% more damage, or is it 10%? Kind of forget what it is. But also, I mean, Arthas plane 20% more as well, so just a ridiculous amount of damage that we can stack on top. Torpedo planes reload, not really sure what I'm trying to do here. I'm pretty sure I was trying to get him to turn broadside if I could drop from his left to see if he turns in to dodge the torpedoes, but I guess the awkward thing about these airstrikes has a very weird angle that you have to torp from, which does kind of suck. Although Ohio doesn't really dodge. Kind of wish I had my Arthas plane for that, but it is what it is. Navrin sailing flat broadside, friendly defense goes down. Our team is kind of dying one by one as the enemy team is closing in on us. Rear turrets of justice, fingers crossed, 4 stacks of plotting room. Unfortunately, we only get 1 citadel and leave him on 1 bar of HP. He is flooding, so I'm kind of hoping that he goes down and it's, well, a 3 versus 3. Especially with this Ohio turning broadside, there's a good chance that we can just simply death strike him and remove him from the match, thus giving us a pretty good opportunity to actually bring this back, because even though we're down by quite a bit of points, they're not that close to 1,000 yet. So I'm kind of hoping that we can finish these guys off quicker than they can reach 1,000 points. Friendly FDG and Bismarck fail div come in to chime in against that Ohio while he's broadside. But unfortunately, this fail div, they've kind of been the team that ran away and lemming to A, mostly not doing anything. And well, also unfortunately, the yeah, they're gonna be broadside Andes for basically the remainder of this match. Another enemy Ohio, full HP, pushing in. Enemy defense, also pretty healthy, pushing in. This is kind of what we really want for our team, because this gives us a chance to actually kill them all, because they're all close enough and we can actually deal with them. Enemy Ohio turning broadside after trying to dodge our torpedoes. We don't have any more Arthas planes, unfortunately, so we have to make do with what we have. 4 stacks of plotting room, shells touching. Are we getting rid of him? No, 5 pens. Unfortunate, all the shells were touching, but game doesn't want to give us a citadel. I'm pretty sure if we get 1 citadel in there, that Ohio probably goes down. And then all we have to deal with is the enemy Navrin and the enemy defense that decided to smoke up. And he's also deciding to charge in, which, again, enemy team trying to win harder, giving us the ultimate chance to actually bring this game back. We also passed 300k, so our first 300k match in Louisiana. I mean, it was kind of bound to happen. Free airstrikes with the way they are currently. I just don't play this ship enough. Defense still charging in. I'm holding my shot because I'm not sure where the enemy Navrin is, and I kind of rather not get rammed. Accidentally beach. I don't think I really intended to do that. I was more hoping to hold my shot and then shoot the Navrin. Although, to be fair, he finally decided to learn how to angle, so he's bow in and he's full charging in, so we know he's going for a ram and our only hope is to actually reverse away. Too many things going on. I make a mistake here. I decide to focus on that defense with my airstrike, which I technically should have actually held my airstrike for the enemy Ohio. That is now in B and creating a crossfire because our Bismarck sailed flat broadside and died, and our FDG is basically 0 HP. Also, super weird bug, or one of our turrets were incapped and showed that it was reloading, but it still shot, so I'm not really sure what that was. Unfortunate Citadel from the enemy Ohio. There's just way too much pressure on us. If I realized how close we were to the damage record, I think instead of shooting this Ohio and hoping that there's a chance that we can bring this back with our friendly FDG nuking this Navrin and finishing him off, I probably would have shot the enemy defense that's been charging in, and I guess just rammed the Navrin, because we also would have secured a Kraken. But this game was so close and still so winnable. I thought there was a chance that we could pull this off, but unfortunately, Veldiv, FDG, and Bismarck weren't quite able to survive and help long enough for us to do that. But either way, we still had a epic game of 361,000. I think we were like 10, 12k away from the record, so kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Definitely highlights my gripes with this ship and why I just think it's kind of dumb with its airstrikes as well. Being able to basically drop anything and do 30 plus K is yeah, kind of really dumb. And it's not like battleships in this game really have a chance considering how fast these planes are and how fast I suppose they drop through AA. So yeah, 22 torpits, although 1 flood. I feel like every time we get hit with these airstrikes, when it's an enemy Louisiana, we end up flooding. But yeah, our flood chance was abysmal for this. But AO New Jersey, stacking all of the damage buffs that we possibly can. I guess we could, think about the ifs, ands, or buts if we had unnerfed drill bits. Maybe other things happen. But yeah, Arthas, New Jersey, still a pretty nasty combo. Definitely considering using it on Vermont, but at the same time, Hoshino giving you a 30-second reload is kind of nice. Maybe I need to use Arthas on Hoshino and see what happens with that. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share it with your friends, or leave a comment down below on other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway guys, till next time, aloha.